So that's the new superheroes. I would love to see them go, and like all of them, it's them, saving, fairy tale land, like something where it has to do like saving them from something, or they're saving someone from a bigger thing than all of us. So yeah.
So basically we're going to space is what you're saying, basically.
We're going to space. You heard it here.
Lives flashing before your eyes.
Pray for mercy from Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Love this one as well. You are terrific in this, just as you are in everything that I've seen you in. This is really your first kind of major film role, particularly major franchise film role. What's the experience been like getting to be involved in this?
I mean, it's been wonderful. It's been DreamWorks and Universal have been so supportive and lovely, and just to be part of something that's already been in motion for a while and part of the Shrek universe. Puss in Boots, with Antonio and Salma is something that I grew up watching, and now being part of that, and just like as their third, now the three amigos together, the three of them, it blows my mind. It's just like, and it really is kind of like the ongoing, thing that's been said over and over, but like dreams and wishes do come true, because it's like you can dream it and it can be it, so here we are talking about me joining something that I grew up watching, so it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And tell me about getting to jump into this franchise and being able to play around in this sandbox in this way, particularly something that you said you grew up watching.
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, obviously Perrito was not introduced before. It's an original character. I like to think that he was always in the facility nearby, but we just never met him, so he was always living in that world. But to create Perrito and bring him to life, to convey this story with just voice, because you remember with animation, you're just using your voice. You can't rely on your face or your body and your mannerisms to tell the story. It's just your vocal, performance that really kind of sells it. And so for him, because he is an octave higher than my natural voice, and people who listen to it, they're like, I didn't even know that was you. And it was like, that's the job. I needed to create a whole new character, that is believable and that you loved and you thought was, so this and that. And at the end of the day, find out that's the same guy who does the voice. So it was nice. It was good to like really kind of build something from scratch, and now seeing the final product and with the animators and what the work they've done, it's so amazing.
Tell me a little bit about crafting that character. I know there's a huge collaborative process, particularly with these Shrek films. Like you've heard how much of a collaborative process the original movies were between Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy and the filmmakers and Cameron Diaz. What was it like for you being able to get in and craft this character, particularly alongside the filmmakers?
I can say it till I'm blue in the face, but it's an honor, just to work with people who have created such iconic, moments and history and cinematic and animation and pop culture. Shrek and Puss in Boots have become such a pop culture phenomena, and memes that are used now are related to Shrek and Puss in Boots, the original. So it's kind of crazy that to be part of that now, it's like, oh, is someone gonna make a meme out of Perrito? Is someone gonna, because you'll know that character, you know what he stands for, you know what his storyline is, that you could make a meme out of him. And so it's crazy to think that, bring on the memes. I can't wait to see them.
I'm very excited to see them as well. There's a wealth of possibilities out of this movie, that's for sure. You, of course, get to share the screen with these iconic characters, Puss in Boots, Kitty Softpaws. Not only that, but you get to share the screen, as you said earlier, Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. What has it been like for you to share the screen with these two legends? Not only that, but this is a movie that is led by three Latino performers, which you really don't see that often. Tell me about being able to be in a project like this for you. What does this mean personally?
It's game-changing, We don't see a project that has three leads be Latinos and able to convey the story in English and also translate in Spanish, because I also did the character in Spanish. So if you watch the movie in any Spanish-speaking country, it's also my voice doing it with the same acting, but now in Spanish. And I think that's really cool, and that's rare. And I'm not quite sure, but I don't think it's been done that often or done at all before, because I don't remember growing up and seeing that, where I saw something in English, I also saw that same actor do it in Spanish, growing up. So it was a nice opportunity. And when I asked, DreamWorks if I could do it in Spanish, they said yes, absolutely. So it was really great to get that opportunity, and hopefully that's the way moving forward, because there's kids who want to see themselves represented, and not just for the Latino community, but people of color, you know, and people, minority groups, and it's the time, you know, has been waiting out. It's time. Like, we need to be representing more kids on screen, and they need to feel that they're being seen and heard. And I think what a great way to do it, through animation or through live action, but it needs to be done. So I'm really grateful for DreamWorks and Universal for allowing that.
That is amazing. I love that, and it is very rare to have the one actor do the bilingual narration of the voiceover. So that is fantastic. I didn't know that. Now, I know that a lot of your work on What We Do in the Shadows is very improvisational, and you are an incredible comedic performer. How much did you get to kind of bring that improvisational style into this role? Again, I know animation is very fluid. It's very much, you know, you can get in there and just kind of throw a lot of ideas around. How much were you able to do that, and what did you learn from your process on What We Do in the Shadows that you were able to apply here?
Well, I mean, when we got to set or the studio, the script's already made for this, obviously. So the director was very generous, and like there was certain parts that I could play with a little bit with the wording or the inflection or whatnot, or improvise a little bit. So they were very generous to allow that. But we really was already structured the way that it was going to be, and some things might change along the way. But for the most part, it was pretty much on paper. With Shadows, it's a rule of thumb that Taika and Jermaine kind of introduced, that they always ask the actors to improvise. So they do one take that's scripted and one take that's improvised. You stay in the same world, you're getting from A to B, but you can do it in your own words, you know, that feels natural to you. Same story, different wording or whatnot. And, you know, with that project, it's usually 50-50 that ends up being the final product. So when you see the final episode, 50 is improvised and 50 is scripted. So it makes for a nice mesh. I don't know if we could do that with every project, because then the story would kind of be, you know, everywhere. But with you do episodic and it's a story that's pretty close to it, it's fine. With something like Puss in Boots, is because it's very important to move the story along. You can't kind of improvise in the middle of the story and be like, what if they went to outer space, you know? Because then that throws us off course, and we're like, whoa, we need to kind of stay. You can improvise, but stay on the same train track. Yeah.
I love that. That's great. The movie makes it very clear that there's more Puss in Boots, Shrek adventures on the way, hopefully. And I'm hoping Perrito will be there along for the ride. What kind of interactions? Just assume, I know nothing's announced, and I'm sure you can't say anything on that side, but just say you were given the chance to jump back in this sandbox, your character was able to meet Shrek, Fiona, Donkey. What interactions would you love to have with these characters? What adventures would you love to go on with them?
Well, I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? I mean, wow, that would be a journey like Shrek, Fiona, like Donkey, Puss, Kitty Softpaws. That's the new superhero group.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's the new superheroes. That's the new. We did it. We heard it here. It's them, you know, saving, you know, fairy tale land, like something where it has to do like saving them from something, or they're saving someone from a bigger thing than all of us. So yeah.
So basically, we're going to space, is what you're saying. Basically,
we're going to space. You heard it here.
I love it. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. And thank you so much. All the best with the movie. It is fantastic, and you are wonderful in it. And I really do hope we get to see more from Perrito and from this world going forward.
Me too. I'll see you in outer space.
Yes, I can't wait for it. Take it easy.
I'm Puss's therapy dog.
Definitely not.
Finally, you need therapy.